I'm Jason Horsch, owner of Xanadu Gallery in Scottsdale and Pine Top, Arizona, and this is a moment in art history. Today's painting is Impression Sunrise by Claude Monet. In October of 1985, while the sun was still shining over the Musée Marmottan Monet, 5 masked gunmen with pistols entered the museum and stole 9 paintings from the collection. Among the stolen works was Impression Sunrise, the painting that gave the Impressionist movement its name. Though the piece was eventually recovered, it's fascinating that it had become so famous that art thieves would risk everything to get their hands on it in the first place. After all, the title that has made the painting so iconic was originally fodder for scathing criticism. The piece was first shown at what would become known as the Exhibition of the Impressionists in Paris in April 1874. Exhibited among works by 30 other artists, including Degas, Pissarro, and Renoir, the piece hardly even stood out to art critics at the time. It was briefly discussed only 5 times in all the reviews of the exhibition. What ended up making the piece jump to the forefront of art history was really the title. The word impression fits the painting so well that I was interested to learn that it was chosen a little haphazardly. Later, Monet would comment, "A landscape is only an impression, instantaneous, hence the label they've given us, all because of me for that matter." I'd submitted something done out of my window at La Havre, sunlight in the mist with a few masts in the foreground jutting up from the ships below. They wanted a title for the catalog. It couldn't really pass as a view of La Havre, so I answered, "Put down Impression." Out of that, they got Impressionism, and the jokes proliferated. Oscar Claude Monet was born in Paris in 1840. In 1845, Monet's family moved to La Havre. Monet's father wanted Claude to go into the family's ship chandling and grocery business, but from a very early age, Monet knew he wanted to be an artist. His mother was a singer and supported his desire to pursue a career in art. During his schooling, Monet became well known for his drawings and caricatures, which he would sell for 10 to 20 francs. Around 1856, so when Monet was about 16, he met artist Eugene Boudin, who would become the young artist's mentor, teaching him to paint using oils. Boudin taught Monet en plein air painting techniques, which allowed him to paint outdoor scenes quickly. In 1857, Monet's mother died, and Monet left school to live with a childless aunt. When Monet visited the Louvre, he saw painters copying the works of the old masters. Instead of mimicking these artists, Monet went to the window and painted what he saw. In 1861, Monet was drafted into the French army and was shipped off to serve in Algeria. Monet's father could have intervened and purchased an exemption from service, but he declined to do so when his son refused to promise to give up painting. Parental discontent seems to be a recurring theme in our glimpses into art history. While serving in Algeria, Monet created a few sketches and a landscape, along with some portraits of officers. Monet's tour of duty was to last 7 years, but after his first year, he became ill and briefly went absent without leave. Monet's aunt came to his rescue and intervened to remove him from the army, extracting from him a promise to go to art school. Pursuing a non-traditional education in the arts after becoming disillusioned with what was being taught in the academies, Monet became a student of Charles Gleyre in Paris, and while there met Pierre-Auguste Renoir and other artists who had become prominent in the Impressionist movement. While attempting to place a work in the Paris Salon, Monet painted The Woman in the Green Dress, using Camille Dancieux as his model. Camille would soon become Monet's first wife. Monet and Camille married in 1870 and spent their first years together living in abject poverty. Even though Monet was beginning to experience recognition for his work, sales were slow, And after an exhibition and having won a medal for his work in Le Havre, creditors seized a number of Monet's paintings. Beginning in the late 1860s, Monet would align himself with a number of artists who rejected traditional academic painting. This rejection prevented Monet, Renoir, Pissarro, and others from participating in the Salon of Paris, which was sponsored by the Académie des Beaux-Arts. In an act of rebellion, these artists organized their own salon, styling themselves as the Anonymous Society of Painters, Sculptors, and Engravers. It was at their first exhibition in 1874 that Monet first showed Impression's Sunrise. Seeing this work led critic Louis Leroy to coin the term impressionism when he titled his review of the 1874 Exhibition of the Impressionists. The review was formatted as a sarcastic dialogue between two very unimpressed viewers of the exhibition. Of Monet's piece, Leroy said, "Wallpaper in its embryonic state is more finished than that seascape." Ouch, that's harsh and very short-sighted. Monet and his Impressionist peers had faced plenty of criticism and rejection. During the late 1860s, the jury of the Paris Salon consistently turned down many of their submissions. It wasn't unusual during Monet's time for art to be criticized for veering away from the traditional, but the artists didn't let that stop them. After Leroy's review, the term impressionist caught on, and though some of the artists it applied to were indignant, the movement eventually adopted the name. Following their early rejection and withering criticism, Monet's paintings would go on to become some of the world's most beloved masterpieces. Whenever visiting museums, I love to visit Monet's work. He was a prolific painter, and most major museums will have at least one or two Monets in their collections. I always reflect on how Monet's conviction and belief in his work, in spite of the artistic headwinds, helped change the face of art history. I would love to hear what you think of Impression Sunrise. What impact has Monet's work had on you? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for joining me for A Moment in Art History. If you enjoyed this bit of art history, be sure and subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow me on Facebook, and sign up for my newsletter so that you'll be notified about future art history videos.